The Golden Touch, the story of King Midas. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a very wealthy and powerful king named Midas. King Midas was obsessed with gold. He had more gold than any other king in the world, but it was never enough for him. He spent his days counting his gold coins and admiring his treasures, always yearning for more. One day, while King Midas was admiring his gold, a fairy appeared before him. It was a wise and magical fairy who had heard of the king's insatiable greed. The fairy offered Midas a wish, saying, "King Midas, you are known far and wide for your love of gold. I will grant you one wish. Whatever you desire, it shall be yours." Without thinking twice, Midas replied, "I wish that everything I touch would turn to gold." The fairy warned him, "Are you sure that's what you want? Gold may not bring you happiness." But Midas, blinded by his greed, insisted, "Yes, I want the golden touch." The fairy granted Midas his wish and disappeared. Midas was overjoyed and eager to test his new power. He touched a nearby table, and it instantly turned to gold. He touched his throne, his bed, and even the flowers in his garden. Everything turned to gold. At first, Midas was ecstatic. He couldn't believe his fortune and marveled at the beautiful golden objects around him. But his joy was short-lived. When he sat down to eat, he picked up a piece of bread, only for it to turn into solid gold. He tried to drink water, but it too turned to gold in his hands. Midas began to realize that he could not eat or drink, and his excitement turned to despair. Then his beloved daughter ran to him, excited to see her father. Forgetting his new power, Midas hugged her, and in an instant, she too turned into a lifeless golden statue. The king was heartbroken and realized that his wish had turned into a curse. He fell to his knees, crying and begging for his daughter to come back. In his sorrow, Midas called out to the stranger, pleading, "Please take away this golden touch. I have learned my lesson. I was blinded by my greed, and now I see that true wealth is not in gold, but in love, family, and the simple joys of life." The fairy appeared once more and saw the sincerity of Midas's regret. She told the king to wash his hands in the river near his palace, which would remove the golden touch. Midas hurried to the river and dipped his hands into the water. As he did, the golden curse lifted, and everything he had touched returned to its original form, including his beloved daughter. King Midas was overjoyed to have his daughter back. From that day on, he no longer cared about gold or riches. He had learned that true happiness came from love, kindness, and the people around him, not from material wealth. Moral of the story: greed can lead to one's downfall. True happiness and wealth come from love, family, and appreciating the simple things in life, not from material possessions.